It's yeah, it's still a good car and it makes me sad. Howdy, you guys. You like that little southern intro, huh? I'm actually from Georgia. Who would have thought? You probably never knew that. You probably thought my accent was from Utah, but no, I'm actually from Georgia. Welcome back to Off-Road Diaries, by the way. Today's gonna be a fun-filled, sad, bittersweet video again. I know what you're thinking. What is inside that box? It must be awesome. You're probably excited. It's just parts for David's car. Those pieces were broken. I've already got other parts on the car, but these are back ordered, and we got really lucky because sometimes when things are back ordered, it takes like months to get them. We got lucky and we got them in a week and a half. So let's make sure this is the right piece. It looks like it is. Let me tell you about Can-Am. Oh, I just want to. Oh, sweet. This is the right piece. Looks like the right piece. Can-Am schematics, guys. If you're a mechanic or work at a shop or ever fixed your own car and you own a Can-Am and you look at their schematics, you want to strangle Can-Am because the way that they angle them in their pictures, it makes everything so confusing. Anyways, we're not gonna complain. It is what it is. I got the right part, so that's good news. All right, Sherb. It's her final hurrah. Her final goodbye. We've got to load her up, go on a road trip to meet Jesus. This car is for his wife, Sarah. And when I was sitting in it and I drove it into the shop last night after I washed it, it made me kind of sad, honestly, because I was like, damn, man. Had a lot of good memories with this car. So yeah, getting this car was really awesome. I was super excited. It was like 21, I want to say. And this was the top of the line Can-Am X3 at the time. And it's still a good car. I mean, sitting inside of it, it's like a cool little cockpit. You know what I mean? Actually, sitting inside of it, kind of digging this seating position. I actually got to a point where I was like, oh, I think the Razor's got a better seating position, but honestly, this thing, it feels good, and it's gonna be sad to see her go. And I hope that whenever Sarah and Jesus get this car, that they get it back to tip-top shape. And yeah, needs a little love, like I said before, but I think when they get it and they play with it a little bit and fix a couple things on it that are wrong and tighten a couple bolts or whatever, they'll have a great car. This car, our first Coos Bay takeover, we actually took Sherb out, and Sherb just had a wrap on. There was just a wrap on the car, and we've never figured out if Sherb is a boy or a girl. I think it's a boy because it was Krista's car, and I drove it a lot in a portion of having problems with my RS1 breaking down all the time. But it's yeah, it's still a good car and it makes me sad, but I think they'll get everything running right on it. Still not a bad looking machine. You get up close, guys, and you can see the imperfections. They're there. I mean, hasn't been painted in 4 years, but a good buff and wax. I mean, honestly, it's still a decent looking car for sure. Look at her. All shined up, sort of. Now comes my favorite part, and that's driving Josh's car. I need to get it back in the shop. And sometimes it doesn't, I don't know. I need to play with the shifting on it because the shifting is not wanting to engage in the right gears. The trick is once you start going on this thing, because it engages at like 4,000 RPM, you just gotta like keep it going in it. You gotta get used to it after you do it a couple times, but still, if you like don't just finesse it just right, man, I swear this sucker feels like it's gonna pull your soul through the back of your body. I can't imagine this thing launching on boost, but you guys will soon see what it's like to launch this thing on boost. And we have a problem with Wasp, guys. Let me show you something. They're literally building a nest inside my car. That's freaking great. God, I hate Wasp, man. And they're like all over our place too. In case you guys are new to the channel and you've only watched like 2 videos and you're like, what does this guy even drive? We got a pink supercharged Pro R. It's kind of stage 3 right now of building, so don't judge it. It's not actually completely done yet. And if you judge me for driving a pink car, I built the car just for you, just so you can hate on it. Well, Sherb is on a trailer, guys. We are off going towards the direction of Vernal to meet up with Jesus. And man, I was just thinking about all the cool moments, all the saves that Sherb has done. Sherb has saved many of people with that wonderful winch on the front, and it's just weird, guys. It really is weird thinking about how much fun we've had with this car. I mean, we've been all over the country in this car, literally all over the place. The Glam is St. Anthony's, all over Oregon and California, Colorado. I think we went to Colorado. I don't even remember. It's just been so many places. King of Hammers, Zach got to drive it. And it's just kind of wild to me to just think about all these places that Sherb has been and all the fun that we've had. All that good jazz. Anyways, we're on a road trip now, guys. Let's get up to meet up with Jesus and get them their car. I've been in New Orleans. I'm looking for sure. I've never been so close before. It's one way or the other. We're gonna go this way. All right, guys, I'm here with Jesus. He's the new owner, or I guess your wife is the new owner. Right?
Yeah, my wife is.
Is she excited?
She's pumped.
She's pumped?
Yeah, she wants me to travel tonight. I told her nope. You're gonna have to wait.
I'm so excited. Sherb is on. I've never seen a flatbed trailer from U-Haul, but apparently they make them.
Yeah, they call it the toy hauler.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it really is called a toy hauler.
Yeah.
That's sick. And it's even got these little steps so you can drive your tires up it. Anyways, I'm gonna finish things up with Jesus, and then he's gonna go home, and then Sherb is gone. And we're back in the shop, guys. Just like that. It's like we were here already with the same car, looking to be in the same spot, and we're here again. But it's cool. I'm happy. Got to get this car dialed. We got the antifreeze done on it. Hopefully she's doing good on the antifreeze level. And now we're going to continue putting just a few pieces back on that need to be put on. And I don't know. Figured I'd go to the next part of this video and actually complete this car. It is missing one, but I just want to put my hands on all the other ones because I don't mention names. I don't call it other shops. You figure out on your own. That's not who I am. But I'm curious, all these exhaust manifold bolts, if all of them are loose, because there's one that is just completely gone. There's one that is halfway out. And when Courtney gets done, he's going to tell us how many bolts were loose. It's kind of an important thing to be tight because that's your turbo, and that when the air leaks out, it's leaking out before it even goes to spin your little happy little cyclone thing. I had to order some black rivets to put these badges back on, and I got to get this light section back on here. Getting close, guys, getting close. The whole tail end's back together. Me and Courtney are going to put this trunk in a second, and this car is almost done. I got to wait for speaker covers to get covered before I can put these two little wing pieces that go there. So I need to go drop those off with Kevin because I accidentally forgot, and he's gonna be super happy. He really loves it when I bring him stuff late like this. All right, update guys. So we got all the bolts tied on the head, or the exhaust manifold, well, attached to the head, and then I realized we were trying to turn this one with just an Allen wrench, and even with the Allen wrench, it just kept spinning, and I was like, oh great. I guess the people that built this car decided to strip a Allen head, or not an Allen head, but the actual head of the motor, and they just left it that way instead of fixing the problem. And I think that's kind of crappy to do that. Not that I'm a perfect mechanic. I made my mistakes for as well, but I felt like if I stripped a head with my bolt, I would probably fix the problem. I think that's called good morals. But anyways, whatever. I don't know. Maybe he stripped it. Maybe he forgot. I always give people the benefit of the doubt. I try not to be that guy. So we made it a lot of ways. Putting these assault mirrors back, I always get so sketched out because this, if you tighten it just too much, it could like put pressure and crack this mirror. But I successfully got 2 mirrors on there without cracking them, and they have 4 different size nuts. They're all the same outside, but the insides are like super stubby, so you got to put the shortest ones on the outside here because it actually comes through the mirror. And if you don't put the shortest ones on this side, then you got 2 long bolts here, and actually, excuse me, there's 3 different lengths. So yeah, anyways, I just like the little accent pieces. I think it gives it a good touch. And then we went and did all these. I ordered black rivets. They're supposed to show up tomorrow. And how this works is, see, you got that, and then you boop. So it like paint match. It's little accent pieces. And then also you got one of these. I don't know which one it is, but one of them goes on this grill, so it'll have, need to find that Polaris logo. Anyways, that's not the right one, but it does give it that little touch there. So yeah, got to get a couple more nuts for this. I don't know where the bolts went, or a couple more bolts for that. I cannot talk right now, and I'm going to finish installing these PRP door bags. They're already drilled out, and then I'm going to be done with this for the day. At this point, I got a checklist that I need to make. This car is pretty much buttoned up, and we'll just say it is buttoned up on this video, and you'll see it at a later date. Coming in about a week and a half, we're all going to take over. So you'll see this thing. If you see it out there in Winchester, don't judge this car. And don't think that it's slow. It may just look like it's a great looking car. And once he gets these wheels on here, we got some price design wheels that are going on here. So this car is going to look so sick when it's all done. And yeah, but as for video recording this car, I think it's pretty much done in the shop. And let's go home and check on Krista and baby Miles. I'm just headed back to my home from work, which is essentially 230 feet because I live at the same place that I work at. But like, have you guys, like, maybe I'll sound crazy saying this, but have y'all like started to like look at the weather? Maybe the weather's perfectly normal for you guys, but for Utah, this has really been insane. Like really weird. We don't have any rain during the summers. Typically it's rained a bunch of nights, like, which I'm grateful for, trust me, because our grass needs it. But like, just the temperatures have been out of control. Like, I wanted to go to this race this weekend at St. Anthony's, but it's supposed to be 99 there, and it's usually 10 degrees cooler where I live than it is, or in St. Anthony's it is here. And I don't know, man, it's like, it just feels eerie. Like right now, like, oh, it looks probably pretty in the camera. It's eerie feeling. The wind is just weird. I don't know. What are your thoughts, guys? It's not about climate change or global warming or none of that stupid crap. I'm just saying that the weather has just been weird lately. And yeah, I don't know. What's your thoughts? Comment below. All right. What? Tell me what happened.
Okay, I got to tell you from the beginning because the whole narrative. So I'm sitting at the computer. I'm working on building a website. Okay, I'm in the zone. Miles, well, he does it anyways. He grabs his little step stool. He brings it over here. He puts it on top of his trampoline, opens the cabinet doors, and then I wasn't really paying attention. I saw him have the panko breadcrumbs. This is my fault. So all of a sudden, I hear in the bedroom, I was like, what the heck is happening? I go in there. Miles had the hot, my parents, it's brush fire, chili infused honey. Okay? He has it. He had it. He got the freaking lid unscrewed, pulled the cover off, had honey all over him, all over the floor, covered in honey. Yeah. So needless to say, Miles learned a lesson today about opening things and eating it when he doesn't know that it's spicy. So, that was my day.
We'll see you guys on the next one.